1960s is when the Palestinians collectively became a national movement.
But look how interesting is this? Like everybody from the Middle East sitting on this panel, the only person creating strong division is the American.
And we're literally telling you the word Palestinian has been around. We've used it for a very long time.
But he knows special, don't you know that?
I was just reading what Ali put in the chat.
Bro, you just shut the fuck up.
We have already debunked Ali so much. Why are you using our already? Debunked. We have debunked it way too many damn times for you to be using it.
Why are people like Kleinbach in this homosexual sapien, whatever the frick you... Why are these people even being allowed on stage? Like,
because they're not fascist and they actually want to have a conversation. They're intellectually secure enough to have a conversation with people that disagree with them, unlike you.
Come to Amsterdam, we'll have an intellectual conversation. We do instant
threatening violence again.
Threatening violence.
Oh please.
When did I even say I'm gonna break?
I don't want him to come to Amsterdam. I just want him to leave the region. Can you just get the fuck out of the Middle East?
Yeah, come to Amsterdam.
I'm not into
Honestly, Sapien, what you need to do is take some time off of this app. You need to go and dive into some papers, do a little reading, have a better
brain surgery.
understanding. If you're having cognitive issues with that, and really guide you into
I'm starting to love food.
I can do like a whole teach you the whole SARS method, in order to analyze and see what the biases might be on papers, how to different pieces of information. I mean, if you really want to come and have a more well-rounded idea of what the region's like, because like I've told you before, it's a very complex situation, and it takes more complexity to understand the different moving parts and historical context.
I know it's complicated, but also it's not.
If you remove the human interest in it, then you know what I mean.
Isn't it just basic equality, justice, freedom, humanity? Isn't it that simple at the end of the day?
For some people on Rose, it's completely understand that why.
Just notice the bitch never said the word law once. None of these people ever talk about the law. No such thing as the law. Because they know that you'll be accused of violating the law. They want to talk to me about the law. Don't talk to me about the law.
Maybe I would be hurt less.
Well, if you're a goyim, it's okay for that to happen to you.
I know, but at the end of the day, we can talk about resistance. Resistance is...
We're not going to get to religion.
But that...
It's not religion.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's a little religion. We're not trying to do that.
Is it religious stuff?
Yes.
Does religion say that we, as in the Torah?
Well, you can be Islam or Christianity, and you can find some very problematic.
That's actually not true.
I was about to say.
Okay. No, yeah.
No, in Islam, that's not true.
If you're interpreting it a certain way, yes.
I mean, we can't do it on our own. Like, you can't just read the book and say.
What striking your wives means. Striking means it's from my understanding, it's withholding from them affection, right? Strike them with you. Basically, withholding emotion is some interpreted as actual striking of the wife.
Yeah, so we don't care about the ones that interpret it like that. That's not specifically about the Jews. Yeah.
I mean, we could be misinterpreting. That's a possibility.
And that's our mistake. It's not the religion itself.
No, it's not the religion. It's the people can misinterpret anything in any religion.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, Sapien, for interrupting your lovely conversation. Sorry. unboxing and makeup stuff. Go ahead then.
Unboxing and makeup stuff, you said?
Yeah, that's what he does on YouTube.
What do you unbox on YouTube, Sapien? Is it the same? Do you go to the store and get something and then unbox it and then return it?
You leave.
Edward,
I've never done an unboxing
Edward.
video, but
Bro, shut the fuck up, I'm talking.
you go back to meowing.
Zionist,
You go back to meowing.
retard Zionists. You Zionists don't learn how to have manners, bro?
You support the IRGC and you're lecturing
Shut
me.
the fuck up. Fuck the IRGC, bro. Fuck the Zionists, fuck the IRGC. And fuck you, bro. Hey, Sapien, fuck you, okay? Specifically you. Edward, don't you get annoyed when this motherfucker talks to you?
Who, Sapien?
Yeah, this Zionist bitch-ass nigga.
Oh, whoa. No, none of that. None of that. You're not allowed to do that, dog. What is wrong with you? You go from meowing to racial slurs?
Bro, this guy...
No, you can't. You have to apologize. If you want to stay in here, you apologize to him for calling him that name.
Alright, apologize.
All right.
Apologize.
So I use others as human shields to interact with them. So we have Ambrose and Feiruz and Ghost, Benny Adam.
You use me as human shield? Bro, what the hell?
No, listen, Sapien, I've known for a couple of years. He purposely does not want to learn anything, and he comes into these spaces just to be able to tell us, to make little snide comments towards Palestinians or Muslims or brown people in general, because he wants to feed into his own racist ideologies.
Okay, so don't you get annoyed when he does this?
I'm racist.
You are racist. You are racist, and we have the recording. And John Kitover right now is recording you, by the way. Just FYI.
Hey, Sapien, really quick question. Has Israel ever returned the 200 tons of enriched uranium that they stole off the boat?
I don't know what you're talking about. Perhaps you should
I'm
ask.
talking about your Sharmuta mother. Oh, I'm muted, my bad. Did Israel ever return the 200 tons of enriched uranium? Operation Plumbat.
Maybe you should ask Meadlock about that. I feel like he knows more about
I
what's
should
going
ask
on
you.
in that.
What did you say I should ask? I misheard you.
Meadlock. He probably knows more about that than I do. I don't know.
Meadlock, is that? Who's Meadlock? Why don't you look into
there's something I don't understand about this guy, okay? Like, I do understand some Zionists, they are just born in Israel and just want to be Zionists, okay? This guy, I don't know what is his objective. And after Edward said he's been here in this platform for so many years and still does not want to accept the truth, that makes more like, come on, bro. What's wrong?
What is the truth that I need to accept? Like, I don't know I feel like I know what you guys want me to believe. I just don't
How do you mean what we
agree
want
with
you to
everything
believe?
that you said.
Why do you support baby killers? That's what we want to know.
Yeah, why do you support
They're not baby killers. They're not baby
Well,
Oh
killers.
my God.
If you
Oh
kill
my
3,000
God.
babies,
That's a bloodline.
listen to me. If you killed more than 3,000 babies that never reached the age of 1, let alone the babies that all died after the age of 1 before reaching the age of 2, how would you call that? If you killed more than 100,
I think you're purposely
what do you
using
mean
that
purposely?
as like to mask your own antipathy towards Jewish people.
But you're not Jewish. You're
I
from
know.
Poland.
I know. What?
You're from Poland or something. Like
I'm not
Czechia.
from
Dude,
I'm not
Sapien,
Jewish. I'm not Polish,
Sapien, you keep saying Jewish. Bro, who?
because that's what this really is about. This is really what
But you're not about like
Jews.
No, that's in your head, Sapien.
You're making it about Jews because that's how you try to win people over by saying Jews.
It's about Zionists, okay? It's about Zionists, you Sapien.
Listen, one thing about me, I'm not naive. I'm not.
But you're not very bright either. And so both, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're naive or not.
Bro,
You should have a little bit of intelligence.
No, Edward, let me tell him something. Sapien, you're naive for thinking that you think you're pro-Palestinian. That makes you a naive, okay?
No, he says pro-Palestinian here.
Pro-Palestinian. Sapien?
Yeah, he says pro-Palestinian, and then at the same time he says he's a Zionist, and when he's with exactly. He's been doing this for over 2 years now, going on 3 years. Even the Zionists understand your bullshit, Sapien. They know that you're not consistent, and you play for the audience. And speaking of audience, why don't you give us your YouTube channel? I have a couple of comments to make about your videos.
Why do you keep bringing up my YouTube channel? That has nothing to do with
Nobody was talking to you.
He actually was.
Because I want to just put a couple of comments down on your YouTube video when you're doing your unboxing, and I just have a couple of things to say.
Okay, can we get like someone else to talk and advocate for? We need to get this conversation is going in a weird direction. Let's get back to the topic. And I prefer, can someone else that's pro-Israel come on stage and argue
Oh
with
my
these
God!
people?
Someone come protect me! Someone help me!
Sapien is again a genocide supporter. Why would we want genocide supporters? They're speak, they're deluded, deranged, immoral. It's insane.
What makes you think I'm a genocide supporter? Who said anything about supporting genocide?
I'll let others speak on that.
It's interesting, Sapien. You seem to seek out these types of environments on Clubhouse at the same time, only to defend positions that most people would never defend, to stereotype and generalize a group of people as Jew haters and Jew killers and what else you say, in the very spaces that pro-Palestinians are in. Like, what are you getting out of this? What do you want out of this? You're not coming to learn anything. That's obvious, because we've been down this road hundreds of times in the last almost 3 years.
It surprised me, in all honesty, is why y'all don't have these cockroaches blocked.
I mean, it's in your head. It's like in 1 ear and out the other. In 1 ear, out the other. Sapiens in 1 ear, out the other. We've schooled him less than he actually acknowledged that we've taught him many things about what's happening. References provided and everything, but it goes in 1 ear and out the other. I don't know what's
The thing is, I'm a very open-minded person, and just because I hear you say what you say doesn't mean I'm not opposed to hearing what the people on the other side have to say.
It's about time. Almost 3 years. You should have your own position by now.
I do have.
He does have his own position. He does.
Yeah, and the position is what? Palestinians are want to murder all Jews, right?
I said Palestinians. They're very uncommon.
I mean, the thing is, go ahead.
The Palestinians need to accept that the fact that Israel is there, they need to drop this right of return.
I disagree with you. What I think should happen, I'm a pro-resistance, and I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about it. But what I think should happen is that all these resistance groups, resistance fighters, they need to change their strategy. Instead of having these attacks happening, one time from Palestine, for example, one time from Lebanon, one time from whatever, they need to all, join together, become one big army, and just fuck Israel up, dude. That's what
they tried that. They tried that in 1948. They tried that in 1948.
I don't think you understand.
Let's ask Sapien. Let's take a moral stance here. Let's not talk about what you think they should do, but let's take a moral stance here. By the way, Ali is another deluded person. Ali, I expected better. Hamas, the baby killers? No. It's actually Israel, the baby killers. They specifically
let me tell you something, Dean. He's a Pahlavi supporter. What do you expect from?
I expect more from Ali. Ali is fairly intelligent, but he's very off the mark on some things, which is.
Bro, what do you expect from the Pahlavi supporters?
I know, Ali. So, baby killers. That, first of all, that was debunked. Even President Biden had to backtrack on Hamas killing babies. Actually, what eyewitnesses said, there was on October 7th, it was Israelis, their own people who were firing at us and them, Hamas, indiscriminately. They're not baby killers. Hamas specifically does not speak. They speak about targeting combatants. They talk about people on IDF. They talk about taking hostages. They don't talk about killing babies. They don't kill about innocent people, women, and so forth. And this whole rape propaganda was also debunked. Anyhow, the baby killers are the Israelis. They have killed tens of thousands of children. That's a proven fact. They have a starvation campaign, a proven fact. It's stated, intent is proven by their ministers, by from Martin Veer, Smoltrich, and all these extremist, deranged, terroristic Israelis.
You want to talk to him?
Not all over.
He wants to come up. You want to talk to him?
Well, let's do a Sapien first. Sapien, I'm not talking about what you think should be done, but what is the moral position you think? Who is in the right and who is in the wrong? Who is the oppressor and who is the oppressed? Number one. And number two, is it a genocide? Because you've been learning and studying this for about 3 years now. Who is in the right, who is in the wrong? I mean, essentially, who's the oppressor and who's the oppressed? And do you think it's a genocide? Let's hear your position. What's the moral position you take? That's more interesting.
I don't think it's that simple. I don't think it's a very, you can't just make it so binary. I think it's like this, a lot of things have happened.
You're retarded at this point. Your
I think a lot
girlfriend
of
got
things-
whacked. Did you pray for this human hippopotamus in my profile picture?
Let him hang himself more by speaking further.
I think that I don't think that the world is not in geopolitics. You got to kind of take morality out of it because that's just it's just not. It's nice to talk about.
I'm not going to cop out. I mean, look, it's slavery, the transatlantic slave trade. Black people were killed, raped, maimed. Let's take morality out of it. Just tell them to just give up.
Why do you guys? This is another beef I have from Palestinians. Why do y'all always bring up black people to try to justify your points? Why?
I'm not. If you're Chinese or Mexican or something, you're black. So I'm bringing that so you can at least.
Let me just remind you.
Think about it.
Let me just remind you, Sapien, that you're racist towards the black people as well. Yeah? Let me just remind you.
Take the moral position.
Me as a black person being racist against other black people. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, Ali, currently there's 1 million slaves in America. There's actually look up slavery in America. There's an institute that studies slavery. American has over 1 million, 1.1 or 1.2 million slaves. So America is leading the continent, perhaps in slaves. Anyhow, the Sapien, take a moral position.
But this is another thing I have an issue with. Like, whenever, anybody brings up anything that the Arabs or Muslims do that are wrong, you guys immediately deflect it to. Well, what about America? Well, what about Israel?
We'll get to that. But first, we're addressing the question. In the situation between Israel and Palestine, who are the oppressors and the oppressed? And it is a genocide because you've studied this for 3 years. You've been talking to both sides, and you claim to have a brain and a heart. So what is your moral position here?
Clearly Israel has the upper hand. They have more power. They're definitely a more powerful entity than the Palestinians. And it's very easy to frame them as the oppressors if you just look at it in a very one resolution way. But if you look at it in another way, zoom out a little bit.
Oh my god.
Some people could argue that the Palestinians have sort of made their bed, now they're lying in it. You can make that argument. They kind
Well,
of
why don't you make these arguments, Sapien? Instead of saying you can make the argument, go ahead and make the argument. Make the argument that the Palestinians they're the ones that brought this occupation on to themselves.
Yeah,
Make the argument that the Palestinians brought the genocide onto themselves.
Okay.
Make these arguments. Go ahead.
Okay, sure. The first one, the occupation of the West Bank that you guys like to call, that area, if they had just simply accepted the 1947 partition plan, that could have been theirs from the jump, and all this could have been avoided.
Hold on. Hold on, Sapien.
Edward, I'm not going to escape this. Moral position. Who is the oppressor and who's the oppressed? And number two is the genocide. Moral position.
Why? This is so low resolution. Smart.
He doesn't. He already said, Dean. He doesn't believe Israel is an oppressor. I mean, that's the mentality you're dealing with.
I said it's easy for them to be viewed as an oppressor, but I think
because they are oppressing. Are they not oppressing?
They currently hold more power over the Palestinians.
Are they oppressing? Go ahead, you can say it.
Bro, it's a fucking yes or no question, Sapien. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Probably. After 3 years, you're like, probably, I'm not sure.
I think that the Palestinians have put themselves in a position to be
oppressed? Really?
Yes.
So the Palestinians, it's the Palestinians' fault that they're oppressed by Israelis. By the way, you mentioned the partition plan. So are you telling me, because Palestinians would not accept people from Europe coming in and taking over their land, then that means that they deserve to be oppressed because they did not accept foreigners coming in and taking over?
I didn't say they deserve to be oppressed. They put themselves in a position to be oppressed.
Yeah, they were the Palestinians. They were hating the Hergun, not letting them free way. Sorry.
And then also, listen. The reason why things are so bad in the West Bank is because of the Second Intifada. All these checkpoints, all this stuff. This is a reaction that Israel has given due to all the bombings.
Checkpoints were around before the Second Intifada.
But they got worse. They increased.
Wait. Why even have one?
I mean, I think that the fact that there was a Second Intifada should tell you.
Wait, no. Why have one? If you want to accept that Israel is a nation, then why doesn't Israel build a wall like they did in Gaza around their borders?
Because people like you would bitch about it.
Oh, so they're not building a wall because I would bitch?
People like
Edward, this was his case.
So we can bitch for Gaza, but we not bitch for West Bank.
And when they did build the wall during the Second Intifada, and that greatly reduced the suicide bombings, y'all were bitching about that.
I roasted you on this yesterday. I roasted you on Lebanon last week. I roasted you. When I say I roasted you, I brought receipts. I brought all the facts. You couldn't dispute them. I roasted you. And yet you bring it up again. Is this a fetish of yours? Do you like to be roasted?
Wait. When did you roast me about the wall? You brought up facts.
Yesterday, I roasted you about the wall. I specifically told you that the wall. I mean, was it you? Yeah, it was you. You were in the room yesterday. You claimed the wall was the reason why suicide bombings stopped from the Palestinians. And I made it very clear, not just yesterday, multiple times to you over the last almost 3 years, that the wall was built in sections, and Palestinians, thousands of Palestinians daily, go through that wall into Israel and come back into the West Bank illegally every single day. So if you wanted a suicide bomber to go through, they can go through at any time. The wall did not stop suicide bombing.
So why does the building of the wall directly correlate with the reduction of suicide bombings?
It does not. It does not. It does not, because the suicide bombings still happened up to 2006 or somewhere around there, maybe the first half of 2006. It does not. Palestinians decided that suicide bombings were immoral. We
So it had
decided.
nothing
It wasn't nothing to do with Israel, nothing to do with the wall. The wall did not stop suicide bombers. Like I said, if thousands of people could, unless you don't believe that the wall was built in sections where they have huge gaps for Palestinians to go through, if you don't believe this, you could look
That's
this
why
up
you have
yourself.
budget. That's why you have checkpoints.
So suicide bombers would use a checkpoint?
We are back at the same discussion like yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It was him yesterday, right?
I mean, guys, it's pointless speaking to sick people.
With all the respect to the autistic
Ian
people,
is
but
like,
it's like to speak to an autistic person.
You should like speak to Ali. I think you should really bring Ali up because I feel
Ali's
he'd do a better job.
more rational than you. I mean, at least Ali.
No, I brought somebody better than Ali.
No.
There's somebody better than Ali for you.
I can't deal with resistance.
Yeah.
I can't deal with resistance.
You can't deal with resistance. That's the problem. We can deal with resistance. We've been doing it for
The
decades.
reality is you just can't deal with the truth.
It's the truth about it.
It's constantly incontinent. Everything that comes out is just pee, urine, and he's persistently incontinent.
That is hilarious.
It's just pointless talking to him. There's no.
Can you please, bring Ali up. Bring Ali up.
Ali's not very well versed in this topic.
I mean,
and
it's
he
not so
needs more-
expensive,
it's
but
not-
2
Why?
spoons
Because
of
he doesn't
lithium
agree with you.
every morning
doesn't
subject.
No, I speak with
Oh.
Ali at times about
Lithium.
writing topics, mainly religion or other topics.
Ali wants to listen. I don't feel like I'm doing a good job either. I think you should.
Oh, at least we all agree. At least you found common ground with us.
Because I'm a little bit fatigued right now. I've been doing this.
Oh, is that it?
Well, when you lie a lot, usually it does fatigue.
I'm getting like.
What
I'm kind of being
What?
jumped.
You know what? So
I'm kind
do
of
you?
being jumped.
So do you? You haven't answered the question. When you do your unboxing, do you then take whatever you unboxed back to the store and get your money back?
Lame.
Because you don't have the money to keep buying all these expensive things and unboxing them.
Gets a budget for mom and dad. Are you raised by 2 men or 2 transgender women, Sapien?
You know what I don't like about people like this? Like I said, they either blatantly just liars and scum, or they just really not educated. I'm going with the first one. They're just liars and scum because he knows that even as what you animals try to classify as suicide bombing, that didn't start nowhere near the first Intifada. That's when Israelis started wanting to kill Palestinians, gun them down when they wanted to peacefully protest. And those martyr bombings started years after. Like what, 2-3 years after that. So what are you like? That's why I don't respect clowns like you people.
I didn't bring up the first Intifada. I'm bringing up the second Intifada.
Well, how are you going from 2 to skipping 1?
Because
You don't mention 1 because you know why. Because you know the Israelis started doing terrorist attacks first.
Can you bring Ali up, please?
No, shut up.
No, this isn't for you to have as many men as possible in the room.
I'll bring them up
you
too.
need to
If
keep
you
around
don't
for that.
mind a couple more liars, we'll destroy them.
I don't think what's his name said. I mean, you could come up.
Okay, by the way, just
You could
for
come up.
Ali,
Let's see.
Ali, another intellectual.
No. But by the way, we're talking about 2 different daddies. There's 2.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're talking about the one with the hat.
yeah,
The one that looks.
Go on, speak monarchies. Speak parliaments.
John. Okay.
So,
They,
go ahead, Ali.
Ali, let me finish.
لا علي بلاش
Oh,
بس
what?
إن فاهم بس أوكي.
Watch me, fam. Okay. Sapien, by the way, I have a question for you. Dude, we cannot come to an agreement or make you understand a very simple moral fact. You just mentioned that why you just converting a problem of type, geopolitics to a moral problem. Like, do you think that we can talk geopolitics with you? Like that's much more complex. Do you know that? And what do you hope if we talk about geopolitics? What do you think that happened? Like, are you capable of talking geopolitics? Okay, whatever.
Yeah, 2 comments. John, I am not a patent or any specific leadership or group of Iranians trying to take the leadership in Iran. As a matter of fact, I have really very little interest in Iran whatsoever. I had actually no interest in it until the Masani situation and also the conflicts in the Middle East. I decided to become interested. I learned something about Iran and the Middle Eastern issue, particularly the fight between.
Really quick, what did you learn from Iran?
Okay.
If you say like, I'll learn.
Can you just let me finish? So I have no. Okay. Well, we can have it. Okay, I'll go on mute.
No, I'm muted. Go ahead, Habibti. Don't be so sensitive. You support baby
Well, I'm not
killers,
sensitive.
so
You cannot be sensitive and
It's about
support
your
baby killers.
being
like, make up your mind.
You're
Go.
being rude because you are just rude.
Yeah, be upset about being
I was
rude while you support baby
asked to
killers.
come on
No,
the stage.
Let Ali speak. Let Ali speak.
Yeah, let's see.
Ali is not sapient. Ali is not sapient.
Yeah. Ludwig, please. Let's see his point of view. Go on.
So, thank you, appreciate it. So I have really like I said, I could care less actually what's going to happen after the current war in Iran, the regime change or not. So my interest is really confined to the two things that I mentioned: the trouble in the Middle East, as well as the plight of Iranian people under the IRGC, which I've taken some interest. Apart from that, I really doesn't matter to me. That's number one. Number two, the comment regarding there are two comments I wanted to make. One is regarding the let me see, let me go to my comment.
It was about Palestinians.
Yeah, of course, that's a very general thing. I wanted to be more specific. In terms of in terms of the suicide bombing, and then Palestinians, I think correctly so, they realize the return for the act of suicide bombing really was not paying off. First of all, it was not getting them anywhere, and the second, it generated.
Right, how do you know that that's the realization they came to?
Well, because I read about it.
Oh, you read about it? Oh, you read about it? So you don't know, are you a Muslim?
Let me finish.
Are you Muslim?
No, Ali is atheist.
Oh, he's an atheist, he doesn't understand, okay. Hey, Ali, this is not, suicide bombings are not allowed under Islam, it's prohibited. You understand? So we.
Ali, you're a fake atheist. You're gay. You got a name Ali, and you don't believe in God.
Ali's not gay. Ali's not gay. He's an atheist.
No, that's a gay atheist. Because if you keep the name Ali and you say you atheist, that makes you gay.
No, he's
So the point is,
Guys, let Ali speak.
Yes, thank you.
Let Ali speak.
So I think it was a very smart strategic decision on part of Hamas and Palestinians not to continue with the suicide, because the payoff was not good. Not only that, it generated this reaction globally.
Not to continue with what?
So it did not make any sense for them.
What you say?
Ali,
I genuinely didn't hear it. I didn't hear it.
Okay, I'm just going on
Ali's
mute.
position.
I'll let you guys do whatever, and I'll probably will not answer because.
No, Ali,
I didn't hear what you said. You said it was a good decision for them to do what? I missed that.
To stop suicide bombings.
He said to stop suicide bombing because it wasn't basically
Yes, it was.
the optics of it. It caused actually probably more in the public, international community caused, and that's actually a fair point. That's a fair point.
But it's not a true point. It's not true. It's not why they stopped. Suicide bombings were not popular with Palestinians before they happened. When Hamas was, excuse me, I'm talking. When Hamas first started doing suicide bombings, they were a fringe element. Palestinian society in general rejected suicide bombings. And when they started happening en masse was because they were happening in the 90s by Hamas. And Hamas was a much smaller group then, much smaller. And they would recruit people, and they would do it in secret. And even the person's family would not know that this person was being groomed to be a suicide bomber. They would have to be groomed. In the early 2000s, when Ariel Sharon came into power, the butcher of Palestinians in Lebanon, Palestinians fear that them and their children would be butchered by Sharon. So Hamas and other resistance groups, they had a there was less resistance for suicide bombings. Now they were still not accepted by Palestinians. They were not praised by Palestinians. But these resistance groups, no, they were not. These resistance groups, however, gained more power because of Ariel Sharon and because of what he was doing in the West Bank, and allowed these groups to be able to move away from the confines of Palestinian culture and attempt to normalize suicide bombings. It failed. They had suicide bombings,
And the
but
first,
eventually...
the first was a Christian woman. A Christian.
That's true. That's true. And so they had a run. They had a phase of suicide bombings where Palestinian. It was. We had them going off all the time in Israel. Palestinians did not know who the suicide bombers were. They didn't know who the group. We knew the resistance, but it was a small part of the resistance. We didn't know who exactly was doing it at the time. Meaning we knew Hamas, but we didn't know what part of Hamas. It was all done very secretively because Palestinians did not accept suicide bombing, and we wouldn't have accepted it because the majority of Palestinians are Muslims, and Muslims know that suicide bombings are prohibited in Islam.
Particularly, there's authentic hadith, but the Prophet, peace upon him, Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, said, whoever intentionally kills himself, then certainly he will be punished in the hellfire, wherein he will shall dwell forever. So
it's dry. It's black and white. We know it's
wrong. You're not supposed to kill yourself. But the thing, though, is that, and this is not unique to Palestinians, the Japanese kamikaze have done it as well, where actually it's a little emerging for Palestinians. Palestinians had to find unconventional ways to resist their violent terroristic oppressors, because they were very violent terroristic oppressors, stealing their land, killing them, depriving their rights, and so forth. So they didn't have any jets. They don't have any tanks. They don't have an army. Not army. They don't have a navy. So they had to find ways where they can attack the enemy, the violent, ruthless, oppressor enemy. We should clarify that's who they are. And the Palestinians defending themselves. So when people are defending themselves, they get desperate, and they find ways to, unconventional ways to attack, just like the kamikaze pilots in Japan did so. And they thought it was a very noble thing to die for one's country. Now, the second thing is that while there's no religious justification in the Quran and the Sunnah, the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, not evidenced by the companions, but a generation, I think it was the generation after the companions, there was one battle where a man, in order to attack the enemy, they were attacking Muslims, and they were going to attack them back. What they did is they had a fortress. There was a wall, the enemy, and he somehow opened the door. Basically, they knew that if the person was first going to open the door would be killed, and he did that, sacrificed himself for the sake of opening the door, knowing that he would be killed, and he was killed. So that was used first by some. I think Hamas had maybe referenced. I can't remember.
Yes.
I read about this a while ago. They referenced this instance as a legitimate method, although it was not done by the Prophet, peace be upon him. It was sanctioned, as we mentioned, hadith here, and also the Quran, that you're not supposed to kill yourself. And it wasn't done by the companions of the Prophet, but it was a later generation that did it.
Bringing it back to Palestinians, this was not considered. Well, I'll be quick. This was not considered a mainstream viewpoint or principle by Palestinians in general. It was actually considered a very radical viewpoints when it comes to suicide bombings. As a matter of fact, And we didn't have the control that we have today over the resistance, and some of them did, did go out of control, and that's okay. That happens. We didn't have a government. We're under occupation. They went as far as to force the families, the parents, to not cry and to pretend to be happy that their child was a suicide bomber after they found out through the news or whatever that their child was the one that killed, 5, 10, 20 innocent people in Israel.
So, Edward, do you mind if I just...
Before you go on, another question. So, Edward, now, there's been multiple surveys. Hold on, Ali, hold on for a second.
Ali, 1 second. Go ahead.
Right? That have passed in support the fast. Okay, what? Can you hear me now?
No, you're breaking up, Ace.
You're in the matrix.
But Ali, maybe go ahead.
Yeah,
Ali.
just quickly.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
Dean, I think the story that you shared, it's a good one. I mean, it's not unique in the battlefield of for certain things to make it easier
Okay.
for their teams.
We need to stop this. I'm not going to let this. I'm not going to continue down this path. I made it very clear, and I'm not going to have the Palestinian position and culture be defiled by this trash.
It's trash.
This is not to be compared to. I'm sorry. Hold on, Dean. Dean. No offense. I know you meant comparing this to kamikaze pilots of Japan. Wasn't a good analogy because they did not do it for the same. It was considered fine in their culture. It is not considered okay for Palestinians in Palestinian culture to kill innocent people and blow themselves up while doing it. It was not, and that's why it stopped. It was.
Hold on, Edward. To be fair to the Japanese, though, they didn't kill innocent people when they were doing that.
They didn't, but the suicide part.
Well, that part, yes, they believed that if they did it,
Right.
they would give them
Right,
a
but
blessing
they
or
were
whatever. Yes.